Can't believe that I had to tell two hardened musicians the answer there. Just the two of them. These are two lads who have travelled up the whole way from Wexford. One of them in particular sent me in his two-track single. And, I've always said on this Star Spot, what we're really looking forward to is great original songs, especially from the countryside, or the country scene, I should say. It's not very often you get guys writing songs on a par with American country too. I loved it the first time I heard it. Here it is again. His name is Graham Murray, and the track is called I Don't Know Much. I think he knows a lot, actually.
I don't know much, I know something. It's what you do, not what you've done. Don't hang around thinking what if it's in the past, it's said and done. People live and wish for better, a little more or a little less, a better life, a little less hardship, most of all, more happiness. Don't know much, I know something. It's what you do, not what you've done. Don't hang around thinking what if it's in the past, it's said and done. Live your life in the present, go and try it, if only for a while. You'll find out it'll get better, and you'll smile. Lord, how you'll smile.
Well, it's got me smiling, that's the main thing, and that's the first time I heard it. I said, yes, great, original country music. Graham Murray, how are you doing? Good afternoon to you.
How you, George? Thanks for having us on the show.
Not at all. And Shane's come the whole way up.
I have indeed, George.
Yeah, on bass as well too, and he couldn't work out that. Well, we'll say nothing. We'll say nothing. Graham, great to have you here, mate. Love the tracks, and as you said, it's so refreshing to hear original good country music being written here. How long have you been at it? Because you only started getting faith in going back into the music in 2010, and you'd done a bit on stage musicals as well too before that.
Yeah, before that. I suppose as I was growing up, my parents, they were always big into kind of country music, Irish country music and stuff like that. And there would have been like small little competitions in community centres, stuff like that as we were kids. So we would have taken involved in something called Opportunity Knocks. And then I would have played on stage with like live bands over time. You know, if they were playing in a pub, you might get up and sing a few songs. Yeah. But I never really took the idea seriously. I suppose everyone kind of looks like music is success is something that happens to somebody else, not to you. Yeah. So you always kind of, I suppose, you follow your education, your work, and I suppose the older you get, the harder it is to give up work.
That's right.
Because you're really better off starting at 17 years of age and going for it, because you've lost nothing. So I suppose 3 years ago...
It's a bigger step.
It's a massive step, especially if it doesn't work out. I mean, you're dedicating so much time. I suppose financially as well, you're dedicating an awful lot to it. Yeah. With no... I suppose music is the hardest thing as well to try and break into.
But you did say, I mean, you were brought up in a farm in County Wexford. Whereabouts in County Wexford?
Duncormick. Woodgrade, Duncormick. We lived there for... we actually left there when I was 9. We moved to London. Yeah. And we lived there for a while. I went to university. My parents came back. I carried on my studies. And then I came back. I came back in about, I think, something like 1999, 2000, something like that, I think it was. And then I started working. I went to Dublin. Same rigmarole again. You work again.
Should you or shouldn't you?
Yeah, you never really know. Yeah, you never know. I mean, like I said, it's always, you always hear people on the television or you watch TV programs and, you know, someone comes out of nowhere, but you never know how they got there.
No.
You never know what work was taken involved, and obviously you need a break as well. You need to come on shows like Downtown and stuff like that for to
But you
publicise
see,
your thing.
thank God, I mean, there's a lot more sort of talent shows on TV now. There wasn't years ago. But, I mean, you started off by saying that you were brought up in country and Irish music. To me, you're immediately writing American country music because you have that sound of your voice that sets you aside from the usual, and I mean that in the nicest way, whole genre of country and Irish music. I mean, where did that come from?
Years ago, when I was about 9 or 10, there was a Des O'Connor show on ITV.
Oh, Des.
Des O'Connor, if we all remember him. And Garth Brooks at that time had released maybe his second or third album. I think it was called In Pieces. It was red and black covers, and he had a song called Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up.
Oh, I know it well, yeah.
So that was the first. I think that was the first album I ever bought, and then I bought all his albums after that.
Was he on with Des? Was he?
I think he actually was on the Des O'Connor show. I think so. Otherwise, I don't know why I would have heard him at the same time, because I'd never heard of the man. And then so I loved his music, and you know, I suppose you never consciously try to sing in a certain way. I mean, we have played cover songs as well. You playing gigs, we play Adele songs, stuff like that.
But you haven't been tempted, which I love. One of the things I love about you is that you haven't been tempted to do cover versions in the studio. You've stuck by your own original stuff. Where did the writing start?
Well, I suppose it's my other half, Beverly. It's her fault, really. Back in 2010.
Never blame your wife. Take my advice.
She's probably listening now. Sorry, Beverly.
I was going to say, you're doing this on radio, which is even worse.
She's probably recording it as well.
That's no eating for 3 months.
I forgot this is live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took part in this thing called the Swinging Pubs in Wexford, and I sang a Garth Brooks song called The Dance, because all they wanted was a well-known song that you sing. You go up with the band, you sing. The pub is judged on how good the night goes. And it was October, I think, of 2010, and I was in bed one night, and obviously Christmas was coming up, and I hadn't got a clue what to buy her. I think the year before I'd bought her a good present or something like that, and I didn't know what I was going to get her this year.
This is him starting to make up now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It just suits the story.
Yeah.
So this song came through my head. I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got this melody in my head. I never really wrote a song before. I'd messed around with a Robbie Williams song years ago on the boat coming over from Wales, but I never actually seriously wrote a song. So I had this song in my head, and I called it Fly On By. And one of the guys that played with me at the Swinging Pubs, Mick, he's a recording studio. So I was speaking to him about it, and he was impressed. And I basically wrote 2 songs to go down, because when I went down with one, I thought, well, sure, I might as well write another song as well. So I was working away one day, and I wrote this song while I was working. I called it Better Man. It was off the original album. I went down with the 2 songs, and we recorded Fly On By first. And that all went well, and I asked him, I said, you know, most people when they come to record with you, what happens to them afterwards? And he said, well, in fairness, Graham, you know, very little normally happens, because there's so many people trying to do it.
Absolutely.
And it's so hard to do it. Generally speaking, it might stay on a shelf and gather cobwebs. And I thought, well, sure, you know, we should try and pursue it a bit further. You know,
that's why I do this spot every day. Because of those cobwebs and the great songs that are left aside, the great talent that we have here left aside. And if you're not in that whole thing of out doing the gigs, you get forgotten about. And most of all, then what I find a lot of the great talent, they start sacrificing their songwriting to do cover versions just to earn money. And that's where it all goes wrong.
Well, I suppose a cover song is probably to a certain extent it's an instant hit, because people can recognise
the song
straight away. They can sing along to it. You go down the road, you know the chorus.
That's right.
And off you go. You know, you might need to listen to our song 4 times, 5 times. You might like the melody of the song. Chances are you probably won't remember the words. And that's obviously, people need to know the words.
But you've stood up and you're standing by your own stuff.
Yeah, well,
yourself and the lads in the band.
Hoping it'll pay off, kind of.
Is the band still called the Rusty Strings?
It is.
It is, yeah.
It is.
Think it bad, new set of strings, would you? What do you think? What do you think, and the rest of the guys, of Graham and his songwriting and the way his stance for original stuff?
Well, for me, the thing that stands out most about Graham's songs is he'll come in and he'll say, I wrote a new song. He start playing it.
Yeah.
And within the second time he sings the chorus, you're singing along to him because it's that catchy, and you kind of, the words are already in your head, like, so it's really, really catchy songs.
I know you've got to do cover stuff to eat. It's bread and butter. But
Exactly.
wouldn't it be wonderful when the time comes? And because you already had an album out before, have you? Or
Well,
the new one's called High and Low, isn't
the
it?
original album was called High and Low, and then we remixed and remastered 5 of the songs in Nashville, and then that's the EP now. So the full album, the 5-song EP, is part of the original album, but the album wasn't remastered totally, because we're trying to complete the full album now in the same tone as that.
Will there come a day where you'll stand up on stage and do all of the songs from the album and say, "This is us," and
if people listen to me, I will.
Take it or leave it. Well, listen, I'll tell you, I've just played that, and I bet you a lot of people are listening to your great voice, because that's one of the secrets you have. You've got a real American-sounding voice, and you've got a great knack for, as Shane says, writing catchy songs. Long may it continue. I hope this is going to help. And I hope you start coming up here to play too as well.
Well, we'd love to come up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to a person before, and they were saying if you draw a line from Dublin to Galway and go anywhere north of that line, including here as well, that's where country music really is based.
It is.
I suppose we're kind of unfortunate because Wexford, there's not really much of a country scene in Wexford.
More folk.
Yeah, it's more
folk
folk
and trad. Yeah, absolutely.
So I suppose we couldn't live any further away from where you should be.
And believe it, listeners, they've travelled the whole way up from there too.
This morning,
and they've even got a
and got lost.
They've got a sunburn coming up too.
Sunny southeast.
What's next for you?
Well, the next thing I suppose is, again, like generally speaking, we're based around Wexford at the moment. I mean, the EP, it was released. I mean, I'm working with someone here in Ireland to help promote the music here in Ireland, and then we're trying to promote it outside of Ireland as well. I mean, it was in the ECMA charts. It went to number 8 in England, number 6 in Sweden, and it broke into the Austria charts, I think, last week, went in top 20.
Yeah.
So I suppose there's two things. I mean, there's people in America, obviously, they want to promote it over there, but personally speaking, I want to try and concentrate on Ireland.
If I was you, even if you're not going there, at least send your songs over there.
Oh, the songs are there.
Let people hear your songs over in America, because I think it's only a matter of time before somebody grabs one, and you only need one to get away by a top star yourself, and that's the door open for you and the band. We'll not leave the band behind.
I suppose the most important thing is if you can arrange support acts with larger bands,
opening up for
them.
Names.
I mean, they would have a fan base based, and I suppose if they like you, maybe they'd like to come and see you again on your own. That's very hard to know what to do, George, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, I just listened. As you know, I get about a dozen of these every day, and I just listen to your voice, and I've got to get them up. And fair play to you. Travel the whole way up too as well. You recorded Not the Only One. Tell us about that. Is that on the album too?
No, that will be coming. That is going onto the album. So the EP is 5 songs, and then we're completing the next album now over the next coming months. What we played there earlier, Not the Only One, is one of the songs. It's probably be ready, I think, next week or the week after.
Okay,
it'll be unreleased then. Generally speaking, most of the songs I write, there's a story to it. Normally there's a start and an end. It's not always what you expect it to be. Not the Only One is basically about this woman. She's been arguing with her husband for so long, and she's kind of got sick of the relationship, and normally that's the end of it, but he's had enough of it as well. And that's what's called Not the Only One. You're not the only one who's sick of the situation as well.
Brilliant.
You know, snap.
We're going to have a listen to it now, live himself, and wish them all the best. And the next time you do an album cover, don't put the hat over your face, will you?
I'll try not.
All right. The girls like to see your face. Sorry, missus. That's me in trouble with a wife now too as well. Remember the name, Graham Murray and Shane, and coming from the band too, Rusty Strings. Have you seen them playing? Go along and hear some great original country music like this one. Thanks a million for dropping in, lads.
Thanks, George.
Cheers.
What we have is not working. It's been like that for a while. Every day it's getting harder to even make you smile. One day I'm your knight in shining armor. Another day I'm a jerk. And we try to talk about it. Nothing seems to work. You're not the only one who can sleep at night. Not the only one. Deep down you know I'm right. Not the only one. Things are walking out that door. Not the only one anymore. Well, these arguments we're having, Lord, you know, isn't right. One day you'll say I'm the man for you. Then we'll have a fight. about some stupid thing that happened, or the way your day went. And I just can't take this anymore. Patience now is spent. You're not the only one who can sleep at night. Not the only one. Deep down you know I'm right. Not the only one. Things are walking out that door. Not the only one anymore. Not the only one who's wondering what to do. Not the only one simply hasn't got a clue. Not the only one knows it shouldn't be this tough. Not the only one who's had enough. Not the only one. Not the only one who can sleep at night. Not the only one. Deep down you know I'm right. Not the only one. Thanks for walking out that door. Not the only one anymore. Not the only one anymore. Not the only one.
Remember the name. Incredible voice he has, from Wexford, Graham Murray, and a brilliant songwriter, singer-songwriter too. And don't forget, Star Spot is open to you if you're a singer-songwriter and you haven't had any airplay on radio, but you've got some stuff released. Let us have it, please. Send it in to George Jones, Downtown Radio, Kiltonga Industrial Estate, right here in Newton Ards, BT23 4ES. And one of our young Star Spot people from a while back there.